Hello, my name is Zisl Slepovitch, and I'm musician-in-residence at Yale University's Fortunoff Video Archive for Holocaust Testimonies. This video series is designed as a companion to our album Where Is Our Homeland, which is the first volume in the archive's ongoing effort to present songs and poems performed by survivors in testimonies given to the Fortunoff archive over the last 40 years. You can learn more about the project on the archive's website, songsfromtestimonies.org. Where Is Our Homeland? Songs from Testimonies Volume 1 was recorded in 2019 by the Zisl Slepovitch Ensemble featuring renowned singer Sasha Lurje, Craig Udelman on the violin, Joshua Kemp on the accordion, keyboards and guitar, Dmitry Ishchenko on the bass, and myself on woodwinds. The songs in this collection differ vastly in terms of style, social and historical background, language, and many other aspects, but collectively they create a multidimensional picture of Jewish life before and during World War II. One of the most musically and ethnographically compelling testimonies in the Fortunoff Video Archive is the one given by Jack M., a native of the Polish town of Szydłowiec. Jack had an impressive memory and was a great storyteller and singer. It is noteworthy that Jack was also recorded for the folk song project carried out in the 1980s. Jack remembered really a wealth of the pre-war traditional Jewish repertoire, including batchones, wedding jesters' recitatives, folk songs of all kinds, songs in Polish, some of which he learned while serving in the army. One of the most mesmerizing Yiddish songs Jack sang on his testimony was Trayb Di Khvalyes tiefer Teich, Drive Your Waves, Deep River. It is a song performed on behalf of a woman who is longing for her beloved on the bank of a deep river, and she asks the river to tell him about her bitter faith. This is a pagan Slavic trait which is also referred to as folk Judaism, superstitions and dialogue with the forces of nature and other borrowings from the para-religious beliefs of the Slavic, Baltic, Finnic, Moldavian and Romanian neighbors took their firm place in the Jewish folklore, which shouldn't come as a surprise given the 650-year-long history of coexistence, and this song is not an exception. The melody is typical for the Eastern Slavic rural lyrical song of the 19th century, with its characteristic intrasyllabic vocalization and wide vocal range.
She is singing like she was standing by the ocean to the waves, instead of a letter. She gave the song like that. Trayb Di Khvalyes tiefer Teich, Trayb sei über Bergen tu, mein Geliebten von der Weiten, grüß ich tausend Mut. She repeated it twice. Die Erzähle im tiefer Teich von meinem bitteren Schicksal, als mein Leben ist wie ein Triebetuch, ohne Sinn und Strahl. Those two I remember, but that was the third one, but I can't remember.
Trayb Di Khvalyes tiefer Teich, Trayb sei über Berg und Tal, mein Geliebten von der Weiten, die der Zayalayan Tifertei von meine bitteren Schicksal als meine Leben ist wie ein Tribertum Ona zia ona shtara as meine Leben ist wie ein Tribertum Ona zia ona shtara
Jack M. recalls that he learned some of the songs he knows from Hoifzinges and Gassenzinges, courtyard and street singers, who would come from Warsaw to his town and sing the latest hits. But he learned this particular song from the balaboste, the female boss, in a shop where he was apprenticing as a tailor. She would sing songs as she was working, including lullabies. In his testimony, Jack compares this song to a letter addressed to a lover who has gone away. He remembered 2 verses of what must have been a longer ballad, comparable to the well-known Papiris d'Orweis or Dorten Dorten, similar to other Yiddish love songs in the style of this European genre, reminiscent of the Russian and German folk repertoires. The renowned folklorist Ruth Rubin wrote in her 1973 book, Voices of a People, that, I quote, "An examination of 19th century Yiddish love songs will reveal many parallels with old German love songs of several centuries ago, while other authors contain only fragmentary evidence of this early ancestry. The bulk of Yiddish folk songs today, however, relate mainly to 19th century life of the Jews in the Tsarist Pale of Settlement. Within this framework, these love songs were the forerunners which inspired the first generations of Yiddish lyric poets in modern Yiddish literature." End of quote. As the coordinator of the Ruth Rubin Legacy website, I have heard many such songs that you can also now access easily, as since close to 2,000 songs have been digitized and are now online as part of this project. It is notable that this type of songs was often transmitted through women who, although they were not allowed to perform publicly, mostly because of religious reasons, would sing abundantly in the homes and, like in the case of Jack's Balaboste, at work. The emotions of the songs are conveyed through images of nature. In Trayb Di Khvalyes, the mountains and valleys represent the greetings that the singer wishes to send to their lost love. At the same time, they symbolize the very distance separating the singer from their loved ones, while the waves can be seen as reflecting the agitated emotional state caused by their heartbreak and longing. As the joke goes, if you find yourself in a Yiddish love song, stay away from the river. The same could be said of other European folk songs, where a desperate lover sometimes ends up drowning themselves. Although this song doesn't present such a tragic ending, the topography of the feelings in the last 2 lines convey bitterness through the idea of depth, whether it is the valley, the river, or the image of darkness. In their arrangement of this song, the Zisl Slepovitch Ensemble and Sasha Lurje have created a texture with drone-like accompaniment and unison in the melody, which emphasizes both the lyricism of the text and the underlying darkness expressed within. It's a beautiful work.